There's a force more powerful than talent, stronger than education, richer than luck, and more dangerous than fear. It's the power of a made-up mind, a mind that has decided, a mind that no longer negotiates, a mind that no longer seeks permission from the world, to become what it was born to be. Because once the mind is made up, not casually, not halfway, not someday, but made up in full fire and conviction, it becomes unstoppable. It becomes like water cutting through stone, like lightning with a direction, like destiny with a name. You can feel it when someone's mind is made up. They don't explain themselves. They don't stall. They don't blink. They just move forward through fear, through rejection, through the thunder of a world that doesn't believe yet. But belief doesn't come first. Decision does. People wait for clarity. But clarity doesn't show up with a welcome mat and a gentle whisper. Clarity is earned in motion, in sweat, in falling and rising again. And it begins when you stop flirting with your future and start forging it. You see, most people never fail because they weren't capable. They fail because they never truly decided. They wished, they dabbled, they tried, but they never said, "This is who I am. This is what I do, and nothing will stop me from becoming it." And that is the root of all transformation. Not another book, not another podcast, not more motivation, but a moment where you look your excuses in the eye, rip off the mask of your old identity, and say, "I'm done waiting. I'm done wishing. I've made up my mind." Because a made-up mind sees the invisible. It hears the music before the orchestra plays. It walks like the finish line is already under its feet. That's how Edison kept going after 10,000 failed experiments. His mind was made up. That's how Disney created an empire from drawings no one believed in. His mind was made up. That's how Lincoln endured defeat after defeat before shaping history. His mind unshakable. And what about you? Are you still looking for a sign? Still waiting for the fear to disappear? Fear doesn't leave, but it loses its grip the moment your mind is made up, because you stop feeding it. You stop fueling the hesitation. You stop dancing with delay, and you start walking like you own the road. Even if you built it yourself, the world responds to certainty, not arrogance, not noise, but quiet, relentless conviction. A made-up mind doesn't need perfect conditions. It doesn't ask for easier paths. It builds strength in the storm. It says, if the door doesn't open, I'll break the frame. If the opportunity doesn't exist, I'll create it. If no one claps, I'll clap for myself until they do. Because when your decision is final, the how begins to unfold. The steps reveal themselves to the one willing to move with no reverse gear. That's why it's not the smartest who always win, not the most connected, not the most talented. It's the ones who refuse to quit, the ones whose mind is sealed shut against doubt, the ones who have already buried Plan B. Because once your mind is made up, every setback becomes part of the path, not a reason to stop. The mountain doesn't shrink because you wish it would, but your fear does when your resolve is bigger. And the world, it follows those who lead themselves. So decide, before the world tries to decide for you, before your potential turns to poison, before someday becomes never, make up your mind and let the world witness what happens when a soul fully commits to its mission. A made-up mind is not born from comfort. It is forged in friction, in late nights, where the silence is so loud, you either break down or break through. It's in the moments no one sees, when you rise out of bed before the sun, when you do the work without applause, when you stare down the void of doubt and don't blink. And at the core of it is belief, not the shallow kind that needs motivation to breathe, but the bone-deep, soul-piercing kind of belief. That becomes identity. You don't wait to become successful. You decide you are, now, and then you act accordingly until the world simply reflects what you've already accepted. Because here's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. And who you are is who you decided to be. Your results don't lie. They don't care what's in your journal. They don't care what's on your vision board. They don't care what you say when people are watching. Results are loyal to your standards, to your discipline, to your daily rituals, not your dreams. So if your life isn't changing, it's not because you lack potential. It's because you're still negotiating with the version of you that settles. And until you stop entertaining that version, you will never step into the one that dominates. That's why belief must evolve from a feeling into a decision that reprograms a mind, that rewrites your patterns, that rebuilds your reality, brick by brutal brick. Think of Ford, long before factories, before wealth, before anyone believed. He was laughed at, mocked, ridiculed. You want to replace horses? They scoff at the idea. But Ford wasn't asking for permission. He wasn't polling opinions. His mind was already made up, and because of that, the world bent. Think about that. The world didn't give him certainty. His certainty shaped the world. What made Carnegie outwork every man in steel? What made Lincoln refuse to stay buried in failure? What made Disney draw castles when all he had was rejection? They believed first. They became first. And then, only then, the world followed. Because success does not follow the hesitant. It follows the convicted. And conviction is a byproduct of a made-up mind. So I ask you, what are you waiting for? You think you need more information? More inspiration? Another sign from the universe? You don't need a sign. You need a spine. You don't need a motivational quote. You need to declare war on the part of you that's afraid to begin. You must become unreasonable in your belief, relentless in your consistency, and ruthless in protecting your standard. Because mediocrity doesn't knock. It seeps in. It shows up in the skipped workout, in the forgotten promise, in the extra hour of sleep you didn't earn. And it grows until one day your potential becomes your prison. But you can break it. You can tear it down. If you choose to become the version of you who acts as if it's already done. Because that's what vision is. It's not some soft idea in your head. It's a demand you make on yourself. It's not passive. It's not poetic. It's a command. And your brain, your body, your reality will obey it. When you hold a vision so clearly that nothing can shake it, you stop asking for motivation. You start moving from identity. And that's where the transformation begins.